the pregame drink out of the tailgates.
Oh, yeah. They're already good, but
they're good, right?
Yeah.
And that means they're bad.
Yeah.
That means it's going to go wrong. Whatever could go wrong will go wrong.
Yes.
So I don't even like the notion, unless Chris wants to bring his whole family, to your point, and put them up in a luxury box, which may be hard to acquire on the fly because they're taken, and this is a playoff game, right?
Yes.
So it's just high risk. So you either need to actually have somebody in a security detail from your team to watch over them, or you need a family member there, a male family member, just to keep the peace, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I got all the above. It's a sorry situation. The Mavericks look like but from their statement, they're just embarrassed by it.
Right.
But
it should be. That's somebody mom, and you being disrespectful to somebody mom. Hopefully they didn't get out of hand and started calling her out of her name and things of that nature. But the shove or the push or somebody shoved at the push, that's unnecessary.
Okay.
But Skip, you know how it goes, Skip.
I know, and here's how this game went. Early on, Luka just flies into DeAndre Ayton, and he wanted a foul, and it could have been an offensive foul, and they just decided to no call it.
Right.
And he gets up and he does what he usually does. He's whining and screaming to the referee, and all of a sudden, you got a technical foul. And I'm like, wow, they just called a tech on Luka early in this game. And then what happened? Dorian Finney-Smith goes berserk in the first half and makes, what would he make, 6 threes, I think, in the first half, but he ended up with 8 for the game.
Right.
And they make 20 for the game. They had 12 in the first half. And the Luka nut behind the family, I'm sure, is
going crazy.
He's gone from way over here to way over here, going crazy.
Yes.
Well, it's going to escalate, and here we go. And good luck with this, right? Not condoning any part of it. But, man, for my family, I wouldn't even risk it in the first place unless I thought they had security to watch over them.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Skip. And for me, like I said, my mom really only came to the games. It was either my games or my brother's game. And like I said, for the fans were great with my mom. She was normally taking pictures or signing autographs or things of that nature. But sometimes, like Skip, it's gotten more because everybody wants their 15 minutes. Yeah. Now, as you mentioned, they showed this gentleman and, hey, oh, man, look, I saw you on TV. Man, I saw you getting escorted out, yada, yada, yada. Man, this is unacceptable. I don't care how, this is what it used to be in my day. No, unruly behavior is unruly behavior. And things that were tolerated, there are a lot of things, Skip, that was tolerated in the past that's unacceptable today. Let's embrace today.
I got it. Now, put yourself in the shoes of Chris's family, rooting for, trying to protect him. And what is happening on the basketball floor as they watch?
Yeah, Chris is having a terrible game.
Chris is having a terrible game, and he had not a very good game on his birthday night because he had 7 turnovers in the first half of that game that they lost. And then in this game, he winds up with 6 fouls and 5 points on 4 shots, 4 total shots. He is the closer, as we know, for the Phoenix Suns. And they got shellacked because of this. So here's what his family had to endure. If we could see the last 3 fouls called on Chris Paul, and you can't tell me this didn't have something to do with the back and forth because they were probably getting pretty agitated themselves, right? Okay, here's the 3rd foul. This is when Monty put him back in with...
That's Monty Williams' fault.
I know, he put him back in with 45 seconds left and 3 fouls in the first half. 45 seconds left. And it's close, and Luka falls on the floor.
That's a Chris Paul special. How many times Chris Paul got that call, Skip?
Okay, and here's the next one. Okay, I thought this was legal. They're now calling it the other way, but...
That's the Trae Young.
Okay, for me, I grew up with this. This is a basketball play. If you have the ball, you have the right. You can go wherever you want to do, and it's up to Brunson to avoid you. If you want to dribble across his path, you can dribble wherever you want. So Chris, he is a master of this. You know what he can do. So here's the 6th foul. And this one is, I have no idea. That's like he didn't touch him. But it had gone so wrong for Chris, I wasn't even surprised. I just sat back and said, well, I guess that's fitting. That's 8 minutes and 58 seconds left in the game. He's got 6 fouls. He'd never had 4 and a half in his career as he had in the first half. Okay, so that's what's going on the floor.
Exactly, Skipper. And you know, you up there in the face, man, your son sucks. Man, CP3, you terrible. You got your husband is terrible. Your husband is trash. Your son is trash. I get all of that. That's a part, Skip, that is a part of it. If I'm dropping passes, if I'm making mistakes, that's a part of it. Your son sucks, Miss Shaw. I'm sorry, I hate to tell it to you. My sister, hey, your brother is awful. Your brother is garbage. He's not nearly as good. I get, Skip, that's all a part of it. But there's a line that fans tend to sometimes cross over. That's the part that I have a problem with.
All right, now let's just stay strictly basketball.
Yeah.
What did you just observe in games 3 and 4 that even this series at 2-2 going back to Phoenix?
Well, Skip, Luka didn't have a particularly good game. He was 9 of 25, and as you mentioned, he was 1 of 10 from the three. But then all of a sudden, Dorian Finney-Smith all of a sudden said, you know what? He goes 8 of 12. And then you get Bertans, he makes his first 4 threes. And then you get Kleber. And then you get Brunson. Well, if you're going to get that kind of production, Skip, and
if you're going to get 23s out of 44 attempts, you got a real good shot.
You got a real good
winning by whatever they won by, 10 or 11.
And still, but here's the thing. Chris Paul fouls out. Mikal Bridges gave you nothing.
Nothing.
He gave you nothing yesterday.
Agree.
And Ayton, I'm sorry, Ayton, 14 points ain't going to do it.
It's always a little quiet.
They ain't got nobody that can guard you. Dwight Powell? You supposed to be like Shaq, say, barbecue chicken. Let me get that 20-piece special of barbecue chicken because I'm about to eat this food.
How many little putbacks have I watched 8.5 where you could just put it back and instead of just dunking it, he tries to just finesse it over the rim and barely misses it. Well, just show a force, just show that you're in charge here.
That's what he should do. That's what a Joel Embiid does. Joel Embiid ain't trying to do no finger roll, show how fast I am. He's trying to cram everybody into the basket. But, Skip, think about it. They only won by 10 points, and they made 11 more threes. That's 33 more points. Chris Paul played awful in back-to-back games. Do I believe going home he's going to play as bad and give them as many opportunities? I do not.
I got it. I still believe Phoenix will win this, but it's going longer than I thought it would. I thought it would be in 5. You thought it would be in 7, and you're looking righter than I am. Although I do believe Phoenix, especially off this Chris Paul incident, will be inspired at home. I think their crowd will be rabid at home, and I think they will win handily at home and re-seize the momentum going back for game 6.
I just felt it was going to be a home-and-home series, Skip, because knowing watching how the Mavericks played since January, watch how they played against Utah, the Mavs are better than people think. They're more than just Luka. Now, Luka, they don't need Luka to give you 35 because when Luka gets 35 or 40, guess what everybody else is doing? The same thing you and I doing at home, watching him, and everybody just standing around in the corner. If you think about it, Skip, look at this. When Luka's been in foul trouble, they take off. Because guess what? They ain't got to worry about Luka. They like, hey, Dinwiddie says, hey, he goes into attack mode. Brunson, he goes into attack mode. The ball is moving. Sometimes Luka dribbles too. I think he's a superstar. But sometimes Luka dribbles the hell out of the ball. He dribbles it too much. And then he tries to pass it with 2 seconds. What the hell you want me to do with it?
Okay. So, in the end, I admit, as a guy who picked Phoenix in 5 here, I was pretty shook up over both these performances from Phoenix because they didn't even resemble the regular season team that absolutely dominated the league and won it by 8 games over everybody. They were 8 games better than everybody in the West or the East, and that was Ja and company in the West. So the point is, in the end, they got to snap back out of it because now I'm not completely sold on them the way I was before. Because it's starting to look like they go as Chris goes, and he went south in both those games.
They did, and they done, if I'm not mistaken, they put Reggie Bullock on Chris Paul, and he's picking him up 94 feet.
Yeah, he has. He's been playing hard. And as Luka, of all people, said after the game, we're pretty good when we play defense because his point was we always play pretty good offense because they're an offensively built team around him. And if they're going to make 23s, you're going to have a hard time beating them.
Correct.
But the flip side of that is under Jason Kidd over the last couple of months of the season, that they were pretty good on defense. They started looking like a top 10-ish kind of a defensive unit.
It seems like Jason Kidd has demanded, unlike Rick Carlisle, where Luka was just freelancing. He's like, Luka, give us a couple of seconds. Can you just stop the guy's his initial drive, make him go a different way, and then we can come help you. But if you just give him a beeline to the basket, we can't do anything.
Yeah. So in the end, I still got Phoenix, but I don't love Phoenix the way I did. I was a little shell-shocked.
So you're more apt to believe me going 7 games as opposed to this thing ending in, could it end in 6?
I'm going to stick with my 6 here, but I got to see domination by the home team in Game 6. Won't that be on Tuesday night?
They got Dallas has confidence, Skip. They believe they can beat Phoenix now.
Yeah, that's how these things swing.
They do. We got a series now.
We will find out tomorrow night, guys. It is indeed a series, and that Game 5 tips at 10 Eastern. All right, still to come this morning, did the Warriors break the code with their foul against Ja Morant on Saturday? Skip was thinking about you when I watched this one. And is James Harden back to his old self? Stick around. That's next.